I know, guys, I have the perfect amount of hair. What a wasted opportunity for me to not be in the Joker outfit right now. But don't worry, here is an old opening that I created 5 years ago. Enjoy.
If you just smile.
I'm one of those bros who thinks Joker is a masterpiece, and rewatching it before seeing Joker Folie, Deux, I still think it's a masterpiece. It is a well-shot, beautifully acted film about a guy who had one bad day. Actually, many bad days. It reminded me how well Todd Phillips captured Arthur's despair and made you feel every bit of it. I really wanted to love this film, and there are some aspects that I really enjoyed and actually quite admire, especially the final 5 minutes. Some people will hate it, and I get it, but for me, it worked. Clearly, after the massive success of the first film, being a billion-dollar rated R film, winning some Oscars, being nominated for more, I get why the temptation was there, and they brought us this story out of that outcome. And here we got something different. Different can be good, and different can be really bad. Here it is a truly mixed bag. There's a cartoonish opening in the style of Looney Tunes, musical numbers that are really well shot, quite beautiful, but at really random points. It kind of feels like it interrupts the story. And yes, of course, we have the lovely Lady Gaga, who kills it in this film. Her vocals are quite different, and there are moments where it genuinely then sounds like, oh, this is Lady Gaga. It's her beautiful voice, full shining moment right here. With what Todd Phillips tries to kind of create around this character of Lee, I really bought into it. This is without a doubt a musical. Anybody else that tells you otherwise clearly did not watch the same film. This time around, we follow Arthur in prison dealing with the consequences of his actions from the first film. He's awaiting trial, struggling to come with terms of who he really is, Arthur or the Joker. That's really what this movie is trying to tackle, this dual personality of who made the decisions when it came to killing all those people. Problem is for me, is that I feel like deep down Todd Phillips knew he couldn't reach the grand heights of the first film. So he went in for some wild, wacky ideas to throw in for a sequel with a $200 million budget. We've got a courtroom plot that rehashes things we've already known, and honestly parts of the movies that feel like greatest hits of Joker 1. And I'm not saying there's no originality here. There definitely is. I just think some of those ideas get really lost in everything else that's happening. As the film moves forward, Arthur meets Lee, Harley Quinn, and he starts to fall in love. While he's falling in love, we are thrown into a loop of musical numbers that are just swirling into that crazy mind of Arthur. It makes sense with who Arthur is, because if you really look back at the character of Arthur in Joker 1, he loves music, he loves classical music, he loves dancing. So of course this movie would go in that creative approach of what's happening in his mind when he fully lets go. The problem is, with music, especially in musicals, they are supposed to add to the story, add to the character within that story. And for most of the numbers, even though they look great, the production is incredible, the singing from Lady Gaga is amazing, it doesn't really add anything to the narrative. It just kind of interrupts the story. And going back to the creative approach of this film, it has a lot to do. It's a courtroom drama, it's a musical, and it's also a film that deals with prison and has a lot to say with a lot of different things in the film, but it doesn't add anything to it. It says these things, but it never says what about it. I will admit though, there is one powerful moment in the courtroom that deals with the character of Gary. It actually added some light to Arthur that genuinely impacted me seeing the interaction between those two characters. There's a lot of creativity here. Gaga, Joaquin Phoenix returning for a sequel, musical numbers, the dark and gritty Gotham. In the end, it doesn't really bring anything new. It doesn't add anything to the table. It just feels sort of pointless in moments. And the ending. I loved the final shot. Personally, I kind of admire it because it seems like Todd Phillips always wanted to go in this direction for Arthur. Now, the biggest thing I think some people will find disappointment in for this film is that this movie's clearly marketed Joker Folie, Deux, Madness for Two, What's heavily marketed, Joseph? Well, you got Joaquin Phoenix and boom, Lady Gaga. So it's clearly a Joker and Harley Quinn film. Yes and no. Lady Gaga's there, but she's not as present as I thought she was going to be in the second half of the film. And something my wife wanted to say, and these are her thoughts, and she's a genius. Could it be that this movie Joker, Folie is not about Joker and Harley Quinn, but really about Arthur and Joker? Overall, I'm giving Joker, Folie a 6 out of 10. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this review. It really means a lot. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, but most importantly, do not forget to be blessed.